Hi guys, it is time for my monthly. Basically, is your ex coming back? It is usually due end of the first week each month. So this is our November and the first week of December. These are actually the cards from a different deck. I actually do have exactly the same cards in this deck, and I have developed this spread that I called Cat Tarot Knows or X spread, but it also can apply to actually current on and off relationships and sometimes tricky relationships. When I do the private reading, if you're in a relationship, I kind of like use this King of Wands versus Knight of Wands, and I use generic Queen of Wands and Knight of Wands for a reason. So I'm going to spend just a minute to explain this category. So don't start telling me, oh, you're having the same in the same video. Yes, I actually do, because these are just titles of the book that I want to figure out for each sign what's happening this particular month. So the very first category, the Magician. The Magician is the creator, right? This category number one is a starter category. Is this relationship a starter? You know that maybe you want it, but sometimes just circumstances or people are against us. Maybe, you know, we live in different cities. Maybe, you know, temptation is just too much. Maybe family is against it. Maybe we just never find time to see each other. That this is all going to show up in this category. So even if this says you guys are good to go and you will have a happy relationship, if you don't see each other, it just simply kind of like fade away. So this is kind of relationship that's going, this is kind of category that's going to explore that. Then I have here Temperance reversed. And it's purposely reversed because in the upright position, Temperance is talking about patience, and for every relationship we need patience, even though they're selling us and they fell in love and that kind of stuff. Okay, let me be a little bit skeptical about that, right? It happens to all of us. We all crave that, but we do know that something that kind of like turns into flame really quickly also really quickly kind of like fades away. So Temperance talks about merging two very different liquids together, talks about alchemists, talks about seeing this vision for these two people creating their own kingdom, right? The angel. Now, when Temperance is reversed, something is not gelling. Something is not right. Either it's not the right person, or it's not the right time, or it's not the right place, or just not the right circumstances. So these two categories, as you can see, are very important and they are circumstantial. Then it's going to be about you and about your partner, whether you are in a relationship or not. Even though Queen of Wands generally talks about fire signs and King of Wands talk about fire signs, in this particular readings, I am just dedicating this to be you. Why? Because if we have any issues in a relationship, we always have to take a few steps back, sometimes all the way back to dating, sometimes kind of like really figuring out, okay, so what do I want to do and how do I really want to, you know, seduce this person all over again. I want him to see me with fresh eyes, or I want her to see me as powerful and important. So hence we kind of take on this role of Queen of Wands for ladies, or role of Knight of Wands, or King of Wands for gentlemen. So King of Wands is slower than Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is the one who will chase you and eventually is going to settle in for King of Wands. So that's kind of the difference. And Eight of Wands is generally love arrows and communication and the energy card, right? It goes literally, you can see the arrows of love flying in this direction. So I really want to see what's happening here. Is this combination proper? Because sometimes we read into things that other persons say and we create our own reality, or maybe this reality doesn't exist. So it's just going to here tell me in this category what the partner thinks about you or what she thinks about you, and here kind of like how is this communication flowing, if at all. Now this is my karma card. I have 4 karma cards. The karmic cards that I designate as karmic cards are Judgment, Justice, Ace of Swords, and Wheel of Fortune. There is a reason for all of them. In this particular card, it's kind of really important for me to see kind of like the emotions from the past that are currently kind of like being looked upon. So this is simply just, again, if you're getting blessings in this relationship, if things from the above looked upon kind of like are favorable, it's kind of like it's not really your will, but it is something that basically depends on kind of like really higher level of thinking. And this card for Wands, which is my relationship, next level, long term, going to the next stage card, is going to tell me about the quality of your relationship. So this is kind of in short description. So hopefully you listen through it, because now I'm going to just jump in and I'm going to just roll out the cards and we can go with that. Okay, so talk to you soon. Hi Pisces, let's see what November brings for you. Again, guys, this is a general reading. All of it or some of it can relate directly to your situation, but given lots of people don't have exactly identical situation, and this kind of takes energy of so many, please, if you really want to see your own situation, contact me for your personal reading. And this is on a special still for only $50. So the first category, look at that, and this is talking about the first 10 days. It's either the 10 days from when you're seeing this video, or like from the 5th to the 15th. Good gosh, something kind of like you hope to go to the next level, right? But it was some kind of surprise over here. So what needs to be remedied? This is so you, Pisces. You're stuck in a romance. You know, Elvis has left the building, but you're still kissy and huggy. You still kind of like want this person, right? So how are you seen over here? Oh, you're still pinning for this loved one. This is like literally mental torture. It's kind of like not being able to sleep, kind of trying to figure out different, you know, things that you could have done, wanted to do. My advice, get melatonin or chamomile tea, sleep. It's going to help you more. It's no word crying over spilled milk. And this would be you. Some communication is kind of like talking about this niceness and coziness and your love for animals, your love for people, your love for children. Maybe this is a little bit of you kind of considering and being concerned about your life and about things that happen in life. Kind of like, why is life coming in a way? I'm such a nice person, I'm such a kind person. As far as this person, and he or she kind of is very happy where they are. They kind of enjoy singlehood, and right now they actually really don't want to change this. Look at this, there are 2 9s. Something is coming to a head. As far as karma is saying, look, you got a high priestess, and that always means this is an experience that you have to really feel, because High Priestess is always feeling things. Look, she's number 2 and karma is number 20, right? So you can see this is just like an initial octave of kind of learning about your path. So the person that you have met is part of your karmic path. So you guys should check maybe my karma reading as well. So karmic path is way more important than soulmate connection. I mean, both of them are kind of important, but here you see, because this person obviously is here to teach you something. There was a learning experience about that, right? Because here we have this black and white, and looks like you kind of like really have issues with kind of like putting certain things in certain kind of boxes, kind of organizing why these things happen. And oh my gosh, you got a Temperance here as well. And Temperance, it's upright here, here is reversed, and it's saying, look, certain things are actually working out okay, and kind of like in this situation, the things can be merged. You can move in a good direction right now. It's a still good time. So never mind this person wants to be single. This is still a good union. High Priestess could actually talk about some kind of secrets. And maybe you feel kind of like stuck, like in front of the wall. Kind of, where do I go from here? But this is kind of encouraging you to really look up, cheer up, and really continue being who you are. Not always people have the same timing and same agenda, but sometimes just learning about that, but mostly learning about yourself, kind of brings you closer, right? So let's see the second 10 days, or 15th to 25th. So things can get stuck a little bit. This Chariot kind of can talk about demons, can talk about, you know, issues coming up. Maybe we are blaming this on a partner, but maybe these issues are something that has been haunting us for a while. Maybe it could be lack of self-confidence, or why this happened to me, we are a victim, or again, I'm such a nice person and I kind of keep meeting these people. But this kind of is important to really realize. So these are all kind of moon emotional cards over here that I see, and kind of like this tells me about being stuck. Kind of like wanting to go somewhere, but poof, it was like, oh, kind of dead end. And yeah, there was a failure. Here is saying you should learn this lesson. And here is saying, oh, wait a minute. Somebody is failing to understand that lesson. Somebody doesn't really want to face their demons. Somebody just wants to be stuck when things were really nice, and maybe insisting, let's go back there. Remember, like the Thursday when we went out, it was so nice. I want exactly like that. You know that life doesn't work like that, right? And it could have been the third person. And this is sent as rejection only, not necessarily a third person. This Queen of Cups could be you. It could represent another person. It could be that this was separation, and this could be that there is a saying, well, there isn't a person in between the two of us, and hence you have been burned by this, and now you're feeling really rejected and devastated. But this is saying, look guys, have you learned this lesson? This is a lesson saying stay off, right? And maybe this kind of like merging two things together means maybe you are putting two elements that you haven't so far, because like you obviously like really good at two shoes, but sometimes you need to burn yourself to realize the stove is really hot. And look at this, you have a communication and communication. So it's going to be some communication with this person. It's kind of weird. It's, this one is saying being stuck, they want to talk to you, and then there is a communication. And they are stuck too. It's just overall not a good situation, right? This kind of like, just like this thing here, it says, look, the world has to continue, and I guess they want to be single, they want to do things their way, and they don't want to change it. And you are maybe trying to kind of change them, they're trying to change you, and this is where this communication is happening. It looks like there is still kind of communication or something in between, but look at this, 3 majors, all reversed. Not good. And not to mention this one, horrible. So what is this communication about? Yeah, the Star, and it's reversed again. The Star talks about healing, and believe it or not, even this person looks like it's somebody who rejected you. This person is actually the one who is very damaged. He is, or she is, not really capable of absorbing love, absorbing, you know, this kindness. This kind of means closing yourself off, and really means, oh, I just really want to enjoy myself and spend money on myself. And this kind of like really means not really involving community. It's very, very solo energy over here. And yeah, it's kind of like very cold and maybe even calculated. King of Swords is sometimes even a judge that kind of kicks in. But now we have also second possible person appearing for you. The Star is also can be very fact only, kind of a sign. And it kind of doesn't work for you because you kind of have to realize this on an emotional level. But I don't see many emotional cards. I see that lots of things are happening in your head, and this is where you can feel this time consciousness, which also is the High Priestess, who is the ruler of all timelines, meaning that really emotion is just an emotion, doesn't have bad or good, it's just a emotion. But it is how we think about it, that we kind of like attach good, bad, horrified to it. And you guys still have a lot of that. A lot of this is happening in your head. It's too painful, looks like, in order to kind of like learn this lesson. And the other person is not healing either. So let's see the last 10 days, or 25th to let's say the 7th. Kind of like somebody's going to stand their ground. And sevens, again, 7 on a 7, very solo energy, very unstable energy, kind of like, look, this is what I want, and here something got stuck. Maybe you're not going to compromise things that you don't want to do. Yeah, things are really not moving forward here. And it's saying, look, any movement, anything will be good. So it looks like you're going to get a text, and just how they enter your space, that's how they exit. And it could be something like, oh, you know, I just left, you know, my, I don't know, book there, or something that will look promising, but just sometimes book is just a book, kind of a thing. And at this stage, look, you are just seeing, look, I know I really would want to be with you, but I just don't know how can I build this trust anymore. I see no goals. I see no even ability to have partnership, friendship, relationship. You see, in this case, he's seeing these little ships, which are those partnerships, friendships, relationships. And it's kind of like no longer there. It's like no longer there. And we have the Magician reversed. Somebody's willing to say whatever is needed to say just to get by. And look, we have the Magician and the High Priestess, but this one is not a good guy. This guy is like the one who will tell you whatever needs to be told just to kind of win that moment. And the next moment he's going to deal with it next. Sort of like a person who will overpromise, and it's just like, you know what, I'm losing money on it, but yeah, I have to give it to you. Yeah, don't trust this. Communication will try to win you back, it looks like. Yeah, this person is not going to commit. This person is like so off in their own world, and they're so off that they need help. Seriously, professional help. Yeah, look at this, another 7, 7, 7, 7. They're like lost in illusions. They think of themselves as being better than they are, and yeah, they're driven by carnal desires. They're stuck. They're stuck in skin deep affairs. They just care about money, where it looks like they are kind of in that space. And so they're not lifting up higher to this call of kind of like higher consciousness, and yet you're obsessing about them. So think about it. Is this really worth for you? So Pisces, leave this person now. Now. Don't spend this entire month obsessing and feeling bad about that. And as I said, for your private reading, contact me at cattarot.ca. And I would love to hear your comments. And until the next time, love you.